Good day, y'all. I'm Colin Mulrick, and we will be discussing the nitrogen cycle today. Here's a basic outline of what happens. We are going to be using fish as a basic outline of how the nitrogen cycle works, basically because it is a lot easier to explain and understand the elements of the nitrogen cycle using this source. Step one is consumption. The fish will eat the food. This will, in a controlled setting, you drop the food in yourself. In an uncontrolled setting, such as the wild, the fish can go out, they find their source of food, such as a plant or insects or other fish, and they eat that. Then their body removes all the nutrients from the food, and anything that is not used is excreted, and this builds up waste over time. This waste will put off ammonia, NH3, and other type of waste produced is ammonium, which is NH4 positive. Both of these forms of ammonia are quite deadly, and they will definitely cause the fish much pain through skin burns, and will eventually lead to death, especially considering that everything the fish relies on is based upon the water that they are in. So the nitrogen, if there's ammonia in their water, it will affect their entire body, not just their outer skin, such as it would with a regular animal. To remove this ammonia and ammonium from the system, nitrogen fixing bacteria must process it, and it is transformed into NO3 nitrite. When the nitrite is released, it too is toxic, and fish cannot live with a high amount, like even a low amount of nitrite in the water. It will easily kill them over time. And so again, the process with nitrogen fixing bacteria makes nitrate. And the nitrate is alright with fish. They can handle very high levels of nitrate, but it will still kill them after a while. Plants, however, can remove them. This is especially effective in the wild, but in a controlled setting such as a tank, you would need to do a water change, because plants that you can keep in a tank are usually not capable of removing enough nitrate. A certain time you'll see owners who have made a fish tank, and there's a whole bunch of plants, and it's hard to properly aquascape a tank like that and have enough plants and make it look beautiful at the same time. Another thing that will build up if you leave your nitrates in your tank too long will be algae, and the algae just consumes the nitrates, but it's quite unsightly in a tank, so you probably want to remove that as soon as possible, just for aesthetic reasons. You can choose to leave it in your tank, and it will take away some of the nitrates, but it won't do it enough. You'll still have to do water changes. As plants consume the nitrates, they use it to grow, and they can feed the fish directly, or it can also feed insects, which would feed the fish. That would be omnivores and carnivores that would indirectly receive the nutrients from the plants, and this is where you repeat the cycle. It continues over and over. If we didn't have any of these nitrifying bacteria, animal waste would easily build up, and similar to how a fish tank would you would see the fish begin to grow sick. It's not good to be around ammonia, so for any type of animal in the world, ammonia would build up and it would slowly become too toxic of a planet to live in. Another thing that affects the ammonia and nitrogen cycle in a fish tank would be the pH levels. If the pH is too low, then the bacteria die off and ammonia builds up, and even though a pH is slightly better for a lower pH is slightly better for bacteria to get rid of the ammonia, it can easily, if it's too low, if it's below a pH of 5.5, then you are risking the bacteria that consume the ammonia and the nitrites to form into nitrates. As you can see, I don't have any citations. I am a fish tank owner, and usually, if you do your water changes as well, you just know that you have to know the stuff anyways. So I just knew everything about the nitrogen cycle, how it worked, and all the steps. How the filter works, many people believe that it takes out the impurities because of the mesh that it's carrying, but the mesh is there to support the bacteria, the nitrogen fixing bacteria, as it goes in through the HOB. That's a hang on back filter. This is a simple type. There's other types that will work as well. The water will go through, and the media, sometimes referred to as a biomatrix, similar to how it was referred to in the book. The media will form mass amounts of bacteria, and that is why it's a very efficient way to remove toxins from the water. Sometimes we get bacteria on the bottom in the gravel or sand or whatever type of substrate you have in the tank, but it's not sufficient enough to remove everything. In the wild, it will be more sufficient because there's more surface area, and it's definitely a lot less unsightly to have bacteria growing on the bottom of the lake rather than having all types of bacteria growing on the bottom of a fish tank. Other than that, that's about it. You all have a great day. Control.